Hey everybody, welcome to the SSW website sprint review and planning. I'm just going to go through the sprint review email. We had a 1 week sprint. So yeah, we had a 1 week sprint. This was sprint number 90. It was 5 working days. We had Bubba and myself working on it, and Jeffrey.
I don't know what the goal was. What was the goal?
The sprint goal was to polish the UI components for the new consulting page, and there's still a little bit more work done that needs to be done on that because we got some feedback from Betty, so we've just left that as an in progress.
Okay.
So
did you spend most of your time on this goal or other things?
I spent most of my time on this goal.
Okay.
So looking at the timesheets, we had myself full time. As I just mentioned, I spent most of my time working on this and about half a day on one of the chewing the fats. And we had Bubba for 3 days. We've got 3 dones from Bubba. I got some feedback from Betty, so my PBI is still a work in progress. Any questions on those?
No, all good.
Cool. So the site health on desktop was 90, up from 74. So some minor improvement there. We're not particularly sure why, but it's good to see. There was a slight, there was a decrease in mobile performance that we're a little unsure about as well, because we usually notice a decrease in mobile performance around events, because the event banner tends to be a very heavy component to load, but we're a little unsure why the performance is down today. But the main factor contributing to that seems to be the largest contentful paint duration, which has gone up from 4.1 seconds to 12.1 seconds this sprint. The site health has improved slightly. We had a site health of 68 last sprint, and that's gone up to 70 this sprint. And it looks like that was because we fixed an error on one of the pages. Crawlability has gone up as well. Internal linking has stayed constant, and we've removed an error. On the Google Search Console, we did see a decrease in the number of index pages, and we saw a decrease in the number of index pages and an increase in the number
Basically,
of
it seems to be going in
pages.
the wrong direction, but there's nothing to worry about because it's basically Google is going to index the pages soon. So that's why it looks like we have a lot of non-index pages, but it's just temporary. In a few weeks, it's going to be fixed.
How do you know Google is about to do it soon?
So if you look in the list of reasons of why they're not indexed, the major ones are discovered and crawled, currently not indexed, which means they will be soon.
Yeah, it just means that we haven't really done anything on our end that's caused them to be de-indexed. They're just not indexed yet. Any further questions on that one? Or?
No, all good.
Cool. So failed requests, we saw a decrease in failed requests this week. It was 34K last sprint and 29.7K this sprint, with 16,000 still coming from that Microsoft bot that Jeffrey sent an email about. We had 7 deployments this sprint, which is slightly down from the 9 deployments that we had last sprints. And our top contributor was Penny, well, our top non-dev contributor, I should say. For what went well, Bubba was happy that we got some visual bugs fixed. I was happy that Bubba got quite a few dones in, considering it was only on 3 days. Jeffrey thinks I hosted the daily Scrum well because I've been practicing as a Scrum Master. For what didn't go so well, I mentioned that my PBI could have been broken down. It was just yak-shaped by someone, and there were quite a lot of tasks in there, which could have been broken up into separate PBIs, which is why it's been difficult to complete. And we've just marked that in the improvements for the sprint by mentioning that before we pick a PBI, we should read through the tasks, and if they can be broken up, we should turn them into separate PBIs. Cool.
The
So
one more thing, when you pick up a PBI, one of the best things you can do is call the person, let's just say it's Yuli, and say, Yuli, all right, Bubba and I have just read through this. We're going to do this. What do you think? And he goes, great, awesome. So one of the things that he could say is, well, what I wanted to do was this. And you go, oh, is that all you wanted to do? Well, we don't need to do all this work. This is how you do. You click up here, do that. So it's education. He might also say, actually, I don't even use that anymore. So now it's not something that he wants any work done. So I would encourage you to, especially older PBIs, just touch base with the person. You might not even require development work.
yeah, so we'll make it sure to do that next sprint. Just call up anyone if there's any PBIs which are old or need refinement.
Yep. The other thing is during the sprint review, it would be awesome to see something on the site that you've done. You don't have to do it now, but next one would be good.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm just reading an email.
I could add that to the improvements for next sprint. Would you guys like me to? Or?
I don't think you need to, Caleb. It's just,
Okay, no worries.
A note for next time. Yeah.
Cool. So for the sprint goals, we've kept the sprint goal the same because we got some feedback from Betty, and there's still a couple of improvements that we need to make before we can mark the consulting page as ready to go. We want to prioritize getting all of the polish in there for the consulting page components so that we can add new consulting pages using them. And after that, we want to continue.
Because we can't see it. Yeah, nice.
And after that, we want to continue splitting everything out into components. And then the French team will be able to use that to build their site.
Right.
And afterwards, we've got some improvements in there.
Right. So I can't tell, Caleb, but this looks vaguely similar to the last sprint planning. And I think in the last sprint planning, you probably had your items, your PBIs too big. And when you were doing your dailies, at some point, you and Bubba should have said, oh, hang on a sec, this is a big one. And it looks like we're in danger of not making this sprint goal. And then you might call Jeffrey or Christian or Wixie or myself in and say, what should we do here? We could just carry on as we are. We won't finish it. Or we could just shorten it to this, and then we will at least get something done and deployed.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
Basically, you do want to say we finished the sprint goal and a couple of other bits and pieces.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what the daily scrums are for, to inspect to see if you're in trouble being that. It's about what's stopping us from getting this done.
Awesome. So we'll try to do that this sprint in the daily scrums, just sort of look at what's blocking us, and it's going to impact the sprint goal.
Awesome. Okay, great.
Cool. So this video will go on the SSW website YouTube channel. This has been myself, Caleb Williams from SSW, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Awesome.
See ya.
Thanks.
Thank you.